Okay, well, welcome to the second episode of the UFX podcast, the Unfiltered FX podcast, where we take a look behind the curtain into the lives of real traders, real people, and the crazy world of Forex trading. Today, I'm really excited as we have one of our smartest and most successful traders with us, Mr. Tim Andrews. He's not only a successful trader, he's a successful businessman, husband, and father. And the fact that he's given us a little bit of time today, we really appreciate it. So, Tim, welcome to the pod.
Thank you very much, Mike. Thank you.
So the funny thing is that for Tim and I, we were just saying that we feel like we've known each other for a long time and we know each other really well, but actually we don't.
That's right.
Because we're part of the Simple FX family, there's a real closeness there, but we don't really know that much about each other. So this is a really interesting one for me to find out all about Tim.
No, and likewise to know about yourself, because being part of community, you always see everybody online, but not face to face. So it's great to
it's brilliant, man.
Do this today.
Yeah, it's really nice. Feels really good. So if we could start, Tim, if you could, would you just give us like a brief history of your journey so far? Just not trading journey, but your life so far in terms of where you came from. What's the journey been like?
The journey, really. Born in the UK. At the age of 5, moved over to Florida.
Wow.
I was over there for 5 years with my parents and then moved back to the UK. My dad had opened up a baby warehouse selling baby equipment in Birmingham, in Digbeth, and it was a successful business. And we were there for about 17 years, which we'd got to the point where we'd been doing it for such a long time. We moved into kind of other things, which were basically property, refurbishing properties.
Wow.
From there, then I started my own company of building, getting into refurbishment, extensions, general maintenance, and things really kind of progressed from there.
Yeah. So what sort of age were you, Tim, when all this was happening?
So I was, from starting in, my dad got me involved in the building trade, probably at a young age of when he built some new builds. And that was probably maybe at the age of about 15,
wow,
roughly.
Yeah.
I'm 45 now. And so I've obviously had a bit of experience in the building trade, to say the least. Yeah, exactly. Got involved in the building side of things, and it was, like I say, new build properties with my dad, and a lot of refurbishments of. My dad had purchased quite a few repossession properties, and we got involved with refurbishing a lot of houses. From there, my dad really, I suppose, got to the point where he was getting kind of semi-retired.
Yeah.
I needed to do my own thing.
Yeah.
I was obviously still young and needed to fend for myself at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I did have a lot of experience by then in the building trade because I've been, doing it for quite some time. So I took on just a small maintenance company, which things then, I suppose, really started to progress.
Yeah.
I had my own guys working for me full time.
How big was the team?
I had about 6 guys working for me, and then just subcontractors as well, which was using on a regular basis, which was great. However, as I mentioned to you before, I always looked up to my dad, but he always kind of mentioned to me the one thing is you just can't rely. You need to have kind of a second income come from something else. You can't just fall on one thing, because if, I suppose, shit hits the fan, then you know that you've got something to fall back on.
Yeah.
The one thing that really caught my eye, I suppose, with trading was I didn't have to rely on anybody when it came to trading. It was all on my shoulders. The building trade was completely different. I got to the point where you were relying on your contractors to turn up, your bricklayers, your plumbers, your sparkies, and you feel more vulnerable in that kind of place.
Yeah.
Even though I knew the industry, I had a good team behind me. You've always got that in the back of your mind.
Yeah.
And it's your reliability, it's your name that's on the line. So you want a good job done. Forex for me was One, obviously, I suppose COVID came into place.
Yeah.
And that's when things really kind of kicked off because I had so much time on my hands.
Yeah.
I suppose as everyone probably did, they were jumping onto YouTube.
So you'd be, just sort of peeling it back, Tim, so you'd be around about 40, 38, 40 or something?
Yeah, oh yeah, that's right. I was
when COVID came in.
That's right, yeah,
Okay,
that's
yeah.
right.
Okay, gotcha.
I got hooked a little bit into crypto.
Yeah.
Watching so many videos, looking at charts. I'd never had so much time on my hands.
Yeah.
And it was something that I thought, well, I can really do this for myself. I don't have to rely on anybody.
Yeah.
I only need an internet connection. I can do it from home if I go away on holiday. And it ticked so many boxes. I can get paid instantly. Where in the building industry, I worked alongside a lot of surveyors, estate agents, so you were unsure, when you are exactly, sometimes you wait in 6-8 weeks.
And I guess the guys still want paying.
Exactly, without a doubt.
Yeah.
So the trading side of things really made sense.
Yeah.
The only one who's going to put in the effort is me, and the only one who is to blame is me for my own mistakes.
Yeah. It's funny that you say that, Tim, because when I came to it, it's slightly different view. I was in a different place, a bit older, obviously. But for me, it was like I was bored, right? My journey, this is not about my journey, but we'll do that over a pint one day. But so I was in a different place, but I'd sort of retired too early, just walked out basically and retired a bit too early. So for me, it was like, right, I need to start a business. But then I thought, if I start a business, I've got rent, I've got staff, I've got overheads, I've got bills, I've got this, I've got that. So in order to start a business, it's a massive overhead to get it started. And then I thought, whereas I can just sit in front of that chart, just get on with it. There's no costs. There's no, there's risk, of course, but obviously we mitigate risk. But so it was a similar sort of thing where I thought, I really like this. A bit lonely, yes, but obviously the community sort of takes care of that. So to come back to your journey then, so COVID's hit. You're a bit slack on work.
That's right.
Yeah.
And got involved with the trading. I reached out to Richard initially, and we spoke. I'd signed up, and then I drifted off, and then got involved in a little bit of crypto.
Yeah.
I enjoyed crypto, trading that. However, I did realise that trading by yourself isn't the nicest thing though either.
Very, very
and
true,
having a community and being a part of something is so much nicer. I was stuck in the sense that I didn't know anybody who was local, or any kind of good recommendations. And it was only when I was speaking to my wife, and luckily Louise knew Richard. And that's when, I really thought, right, let's kind of kick off. I enjoy charting, I enjoy technicals, but I want to be part of something where there's a community of us, really.
No, I get it. So how long were you like a crypto trader before?
I'd been involved with crypto for approximately, I'd say at least 3 to 4 years, approximately.
That's a long time. Wow.
Yeah.
Was that successful for you? Because you hear all these real horror stories.
No, of course you do, and scams, and I enjoyed crypto quite a lot, to be honest with you. And I was successful with crypto. But I wanted to, like I say, move into other things, and I suppose really it was more Forex, currencies, indices in particular as well. So that was where I thought, right, let's take a backseat off of crypto. Not only that, but you could also see in the UK things were getting a lot more stricter with regulations as well.
For sure.
With Forex, again, there's, like I say, the benefits of not having taxes to pay with Forex is an absolute bonus.
Do you know, it's amazing, Tim, isn't it? I think about that all the time, because really, however well we do, you've got to gross it up.
Exactly.
Once you gross it up, it's like, this is actually serious money.
Yep.
This is real serious money. So exactly the same. And I think, to your point, it just seems like the UK government are intent on crippling crypto traders and people who are profiting from crypto with taxes. You know more about that than me, because I guess you've still got a portfolio. But but yeah, it just seems it's just really complicated and difficult.
Yeah, I think. Why do you want the headache?
Yeah,
I stepped out of crypto and I thought I'm going to move now into kind of more Forex and indices,
yeah,
watching the news more. And that's definitely what I'm enjoying by far, especially with
yeah.
Trump at the moment, because you just don't know what what
No,
tomorrow
I
brings.
know. Yeah,
It,
it's weird, isn't it? Because I just get so involved in the news.
yep,
I don't know if you're the same, but
completely.
yeah,
Always looking for breaking news to see what's out. Things were so much more, I think, quiet with Biden. With Trump at the moment, you just don't know what tomorrow
I
brings.
know.
And it's almost being at the edge of your seat a little bit because you
Yeah,
know at the moment the way things stand with the war and what's going on. If America get involved more, then you're going to see indices
I
start
know.
moving,
I
and
know.
it's that excitement.
It's a weird one. I think we said the other. You see, when I see you in the room, in the chat room, you always seem so well informed. You'll say something and I'll be like, shit, bastard, how does he know
Yeah.
that? You know what I mean? It's like you're always really well informed on lots of stuff. And also, um, your technicals are like, they're always just like on point. They're always on point. And again, sometimes you'll put a chart in the chat and I'll be like, oh, he's done it again. He's done it again. It's so funny, mate.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. But it's funny because the other night I went to bed, and this is terrible what I'm about to say. I'm like, this is going to kick off tonight. This Israel and Iran, this is going to kick off.
Yep.
And then I went to bed and I thought, what I'll do is I'll leave News Squawk on, I'll turn it up so that like while I'm sleeping, if something goes down, I'll hear it. And I was down a couple of times. It's like nothing's happened. Can't believe it. Nothing's happened. You know what I
Of
mean?
course.
So nothing happened, and the market's pretty quiet actually. But no, I'm the same. Which is for me when I don't know about you, Tim, but there's something incredibly satisfying about doing your research, getting an overview of everything, then doing some technical analysis. And it's like, wait a second, all the stars are aligning here. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's this. Yeah, this is it. Then you might place your PO and it triggers, and it's like it's actually worth more than the money.
Yeah, you've done your homework at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's awesome.
You've done your homework, so you deserve to get paid for it.
Yeah, for sure.
I the enjoyment that I get out of it as well. It's surprising the amount of time I spend in my office just looking at charts. There's other things that I also look at, which, to be honest, we don't even talk about in the chat group when it comes to the VIX. I look at the VIX quite a bit.
Yeah.
I look at the Russell 2000. I look at the US Treasury bonds, the 10-year, just to see what's kind of going on there. Because you're always saying if the VIX is starting to spike, then the indices are starting to drop. So, and just doing your background, it's just like, I suppose it's like anything, what you put into something is what you're going to get out of it. If you're not prepared to put the time and the effort in, then don't expect the rewards.
No,
it's that simple. Yeah, I'm in the mornings when we're doing coffee, we can see Richard's charts, but Rich can't see my chart.
Yeah.
And it's sometimes nice to see, where Rich has either got his trend lines and support and resistance and fibs, and then I will look at mine and I think sometimes we can be off, but then sometimes we can be absolutely spot on.
Same.
And then I'm thinking, I know that I've done my work right.
Yeah.
And that for me is kind of satisfying, and it's also satisfying in the sense that Rich has been trading for 16 or so years now.
Yeah.
The background, his knowledge is just amazing. It's fascinating, and it's always nice to learn from someone better than you, just to improve your own game.
Yeah, it's interesting. Sorry,
having someone like Rich, it is just, we should all be so blessed to have someone. He's so good at his game. We don't give him enough credit, to be honest with you.
No, I think the same, Tim, and it's everything you've said. I'm 100%.
Yeah.
Because it's sort of literally every time he opens his mouth, there's a gem in there.
Yeah.
Literally every time. Even like last night on these Forex, just even on an intro, there's still something there for you. It's like he just. I said to Rich this morning, I don't think he realizes how much goodness he's got in terms of just everything he says, it strikes a chord. It's like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. Oh, you know what I mean? It's like it's unbelievable.
Without a doubt.
So I agree with you. So let's peel it just back again. So you decided Forex was for you. You presumably you contacted Rich.
That's right.
And then what happened from there? What was the journey from there?
Gosh, I mean, we met. Trying to remember now myself. There were modules that we did. I did a few modules online, and I must admit I haven't done all of them. No, I've only done module 1. So I'm sorry, Rich.
Yeah, we won't tell him that. We'll just
exactly.
edit that bit out, right?
That's right. So did obviously the module 1, but I was confident in myself though. I suppose because I'd been into crypto quite a lot and looking at kind of charts and support and resistance, and there was 1 or 2 people. I suppose I self-taught myself over COVID time. Oh, there was people on YouTube who I was watching, but 1 or 2. Let's be honest, there's a lot of crap out there.
Yeah.
But there are 1 or 2 people who you think, okay, you know your stuff.
Yeah.
And I was following a couple of people, and I kind of, in some ways, was a bit more kind of self-taught because I was looking at people.
Yeah.
Things were clicking, things were making sense. When I did meet up with Rich and we were going through things, you were just putting things, yeah, that makes sense with what I was kind of was watching beforehand. And so I took to grasp with it. I got to grips with it, immediately. I knew what Rich was talking about. So it fell into place very easily for me.
I mean, I sometimes wonder, because I knew that you had a background in crypto, because you've mentioned it before in the chat. And I wonder if, like, to me, crypto is a more risky world than Forex. So the reason I'm asking the question is I just wonder if you'd sort of bathed in that world of high risk.
Of course.
Saying high risk crypto. So coming from that to this, you're probably pretty comfortable.
No, without a doubt. And I suppose with crypto, there's so many different crypto coins out there and there's so many scams with a lot of the coins.
Yeah.
And if you're going to put your hand in fire, you're going to get burnt. It's that simple, really. Yeah. So you've really got to be careful on what you're kind of trading with. With crypto, I suppose, as soon as things kind of got backed by the Fed, and it was kind of approved, then you thought, okay, well, now, Bitcoin, regulations were there. You've got to take Bitcoin seriously now. Really.
Yeah, for sure.
Beforehand, everyone was saying, this is a scam, but now things are different, really, with Bitcoin.
Again, your knowledge will be way more than mine, Tim, because I'm not in that world and never have been. Yeah. But to me, I just look at the money that's going into it, and there's some huge corporate money going into it now. Right. Corporate money never fails. It's not allowed to fail. So to me, it's like, yeah, for sure. There's probably a handful of those coins that are, you might call them blue chip coins. They've got some utility. You can see there's a use case for them going forward. With Bitcoin, I guess, being the store of value.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But if you actually look at that chart, sure, there's ups and downs all the time.
All day long.
But if you look at the chart, it's only ever gone one way.
Exactly, that's right. And, Bitcoin's only been around for since 2009, and seeing that Bitcoin was trading at $1, and here we are at, almost 110 grand.
I know.
It's crazy.
It's unbelievable. I mean, some people must have made so much.
All day long.
Wow, it's awesome.
You've got people like Michael Saylor who have purchased something, 400,000 Bitcoin or so that they own. And that's just a staggering amount of money.
But what's amazing about that is his company trades off a multiple of the Bitcoin value.
Yep.
That's what I can't get my head around. It's like, okay, he's like a custodian of Bitcoin. He's got all of this Bitcoin, which has a value.
Yep.
And to me, it's like, well, his company can only be valued at that, but it's not. It's valued at more.
Yeah. No, that's right. You look at the share prices of MicroStrategy, and it goes on to shares and indices, and there's so much that you can trade, and that for me is the difficulty of knowing almost what do you trade and what don't. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, for me, you're the indices guy. That's because you're always looking at, like the other day you were like, was anybody look at the Hang Seng?
Yep.
Well, I'd actually had a really bad time on it as well. Actually. I was like, I've looked at it, but it's not my favorite.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But you're absolutely right. I mean, it's how can I put it? It's like you're faced with a wall of insurmountable opportunity.
That's
You know
right.
what I mean? There's
That's
so
right.
much out there.
Exactly. If you want to trade oranges or anything,
Yeah,
you can do.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's incredible. I mean, I've even looked at some of the options and futures,
Yep.
and I've played around with them. I struggle to understand them, to be honest with you, but I bought some gold options just to see what happens, just trying to understand it with really low lot sizes. But you're right, there's just so much opportunity out there.
Yeah,
all the
exactly.
time.
And
Yeah,
that's what I think the key is. It's looking for opportunities. You know, trading is never going to go away. You know, you can trade tonight, tomorrow, next month, next week, and it's looking for those opportunities in the market where you think you've just got to take your time with things, you know, and let those opportunities come to you. You know, we could jump on our phone now and take a quick trade, but your entry is crucial. Where you enter the market, and I always look at things at a long kind of term period. I'll start off sometimes on a monthly, then break it down to a weekly, a daily, and see where is a good entry. Let that come to me.
Yeah.
You know, I think we all want to make money, but with trading, it's very easy to lose it.
So
And
right.
that's the key. And Rich actually mentioned it the other night. Half of the battle is keeping onto your funds, you know, holding onto it.
Yeah.
Because once you've had a win, you think, oh yeah, I want to win again. I want more, exactly.
Yeah.
And trading gets addictive.
Yeah.
And it's knowing when to trade and when not to trade.
Yeah.
Taking your time with things, really.
Yeah. I mean, listening to you and your knowledge, right? And you're sort of saying you've been in this game for like 18 months, or that's unbelievable. That's really short to me.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been with Rich for 5 years. I mean, I'm a bit of a plank, but it's taken me a long time to really get to grips with it. So, I mean, how do you juggle business, kid, family, trading, and also you do some late night stuff as well?
Yeah, I do.
You know, so how do you approach all of that?
Gosh, well, as you know, I am a bit of a night owl. I do like to trade early hours in the morning.
The reason I'm cutting across you, apologies, Tim, but the reason I ask you is because, lots of people. I talk to lots of people now who are interested in joining us, and I'll get on the phone and talk, and they're like, oh well, I don't have much time in the morning. I don't have much time for this, and I'm thinking, well, hold on a minute. That's why I'm asking the questions. How do you do all of that?
I think the real answer to that is, how badly do you want it? Because really, if you really want to learn how to trade, you'll find the time. That's the reality of it. You know, we all work Monday to Friday, or even Saturday, Sundays if need be. However, if you really, really want to learn something, if you have got a passion for it, you'll put yourself out.
Yeah,
that is the bottom line.
Yep.
Louise, my wife, she does a fantastic job with our daughter, taking care of her, taking her to school in the mornings. A lot of times, sometimes I'll be on the charts in the morning while Louise is, looking after, our daughter. But like I say, what you put into something is what you're going to get out. Don't expect to be successful if you're not going to put the time and the effort into it. And that's just the way I look at things. I suppose everyone's different. For me, I need a quiet room, and early hours of the morning, if it's kind of midnight, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, the house is quiet. And for me is when I can kind of zone in into kind of certain things, and just take my time with either charting, because charting is something where it's just nice just to look at your charts and seeing, what kind of support and resistance areas, or what trend lines, or keeping up to date with the news.
Yeah.
Because at the moment, the news, I never thought I'd like it so much, but at the moment, you just don't know. Like I said earlier, you just don't know what tomorrow brings.
Yeah, I mean, I was never interested in the news in my entire life.
Yep.
Right. I'm 65. I've never been interested in the news. Now, I can't wait for the news.
Can't get enough of it. Almost.
I cannot get enough.
Yeah.
News Squawk is on all the time.
Yep.
Volume up.
Yep.
24/7. It's just on all the time, Tim. And then I'm like, all right, bank reports. I'll just lose the plot.
Yeah.
Totally lose the plot, because it's like there's so much great information here. But I think it's great to hear what you say, Tim, because you make it sound like it's easy, right? You make it, it's like, well, if you're passionate about it, you'll put the time in. And I think that's something that's lost on a lot of people, particularly in today's world, because it's like everybody wants fast food. Yeah, I want it, but I want it today.
Yeah.
And this game isn't like that at all. It certainly wasn't for me.
Yeah.
And sort of halfway through my journey, I started to realize, I'm like, oh, hang on, this is a craft. This is actually a real skill. And it's going to take me time to learn it. And I've just got to be really careful. And I mean, for you, like I said, when you drop a chart into the room, every single time I'm like, shit, he's got it again. So it's like, to me, well, let me ask you this question: in terms of your indicators, are you more trends than anything else? Because it always seems like that.
I do like a good trend line, to be honest with you. I do. Sometimes I'll try and keep my charts. If I'm posting something in the room, sometimes I'll put a chart in and just try and keep it very basic, so you can just see. Yeah. Sometimes when you've got too much lines and going here, there, and everywhere, it's kind of harder to read. So yes, I do go on technicals, obviously, quite a lot of the time, but your fundamentals are obviously coming into play a lot more though now. Yeah, a lot more.
I think that, and I think that's how Rich teaches us, which is that both have got to be in line.
Exactly.
Then you can place it.
Yeah.
So are most of your trades pending orders where you've said, this is it, the market's coming to me, or will you do your analysis, say 1 or 2 in the morning, things are going off in Japan,
Yeah.
Or will you place a sort of a live trade?
I will, a bit of both, to be honest with you. Yeah. Sometimes if I want to take a quick scalp, then I will just look at a short time frame, just to think, I just want to bag myself a few points. Yeah. I will look at a short time frame. Okay. Sometimes. Generally speaking, though, if it's something that I'm looking to get a lot more points, then definitely all day long I'm looking at a high time frame.
Got you.
All day long, and I'll have a PO set. The Hang Seng, which I posted, I've been looking at that chart for weeks. No way. I've been looking at that, and I noticed the drop on that quite a few weeks ago. I thought, right, we're going to get back to this level. Yeah. And I'm thinking, right, I'm going to wait, and it has been a few weeks, and I've been watching that, and we're still just a few hundred points away from it. Yeah. But I'm getting to the point where I'm thinking, right, there's going to be a good opportunity here, to take a short on this now.
That's again, I just want to press pause there, because that's so important for people watching this, which is you're prepared to sit there and watch it and say, yeah, okay, I'm going to wait, and I'm going to wait weeks. But when it triggers, then I might ride it for weeks.
Yeah.
Whereas everyone's always like, for me, I have a real FOMO problem. I want to get on. I want to get on the train.
Of course, yeah.
So it's just really good to hear that like when you talk about putting the time in, you're looking at a chart for weeks. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and you're not trading it.
Of course.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And that, I suppose, with trading, a lot of the time, being from the building background, you're always on the go.
Yeah.
Trading, I've noticed sometimes, if you want a good trade, you've got to be patient and you've got to wait for it.
Yeah.
And that was one of my problems, one of my issues, waiting. And when I was watching Rich trade, and he was setting his pending orders, and early on, I was thinking, I can't be bothered to wait. I want to make some money now.
Yeah.
And that's when the market will spit you out.
Yeah.
And you need to learn from your mistakes. And the quicker you learn from your mistakes, the better.
Yeah.
And it's just what makes you, a better trader. Just be patient.
Yeah.
You're not going to win everything, and that's part of trading at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And the quicker you learn and you accept that, the better, really.
Yeah.
But when you are looking at, good technicals, you've done your fundamentals, then you feel like, well, I've done the best that, I could have done. And, I haven't just jumped into a trade for the sake of it.
Yeah.
That for me was just where, you know, I've done my homework. I've been the best trader ever I've tried to be. I haven't kind of gambled or, you know, I've just done the best that I could have, and I can't ask any more of myself. And obviously you do want to make yourself a better trader, and that just comes with time, though. Like I say, it's been 18 months that I've been with Rich, but and I wouldn't take anything back. You know, I can't wait to trade more, and I can't wait for the next 12 months, next 18 months.
I know it's interesting when say for example you've just been on holiday, but if I'm away from the charts for 2 or 3 days for whatever reason, I just can't get to them. I'm completely disoriented. I don't know what's happening. And then you come back to the chart and you're like, I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah,
you really have to stay in sort of
in focus. That's right. And I actually struggle to switch off from looking at chart. And with mobile phones these days, it's just so easy though. They've made life so easy just to. I mean, it's the same as your work. You could be looking at either your emails and things that have come in. And the same with, you know, trading or anything that's popping up on your phone with kind of Trump and Twitter or anything like that, because you're always keeping, you know, in contact with what's going on in the outside world, really. You know, and I suppose sometimes when it's in your blood, that's it. You can't get away from it. You can't. No. You know, you try and switch off. And the amount of times that my wife catches me, you know, what are you doing now? I think, oh, here we go. She's busted me again.
But I do the same. I'll sit watching the telly, and then I'll just sort of slide into the study, and then I'm like, I'll listen to the television, but I'll look at my charts. You know what I mean? I listen to that, but I'm looking at the charts. It's amazing. But I just wanted to come back to, if you'll share this with us, right? So, what about your most memorable and painful trading experience? Would you talk us through that? I'll ask you about a good one later, but let's get that one out of the way.
Painful. Trading without a stop loss. Which we've all done. And it was painful. It got to the point where I knew that sometimes a case of trying not to panic, especially when you've put yourself in a position when you've only got yourself to blame. And I think half of the key was try not to panic. Yes, I have made bad trades. Of course, it's part of the learning experience. And the quicker you learn, the better.
It's interesting, the stop loss one, because sorry to cut across you again, but again, I'm just trying to pause so that because these are really important messages. Because I went through a stage where, particularly with some of the more volatile assets, I was thinking stop loss doesn't work here. You know what I mean? So, but it does, and it always does. And I think one of the issues for people is when you move across assets, it's almost like the economic model's different here, because based on your account, based on your appetite for risk, you know, every time we place a trade with a stop loss, that stop loss dictates this is how much I'm prepared to risk on this trade. But of course, once you move from like pound dollar, which is, you know, pretty predictable, pretty safe, pretty, you know, sort of easy going, with a 20-point stop loss, you can't suddenly move from there to, say, the Japan 225 with a 20-point stop loss. That's not going to work for you. You're going to get stopped out every time.
Of course,
But I think what happened, where my mistake has been in the past, is I've not altered my lot size. You know what I mean? And so what I've found is that you've got to keep everything in like yin and yang. If you need a bigger stop, then you probably need a slightly smaller lot size.
Of course.
You know. So have you found the same thing?
All day long, without a doubt, because when I started trading the 225, my lot size was bigger. And you learn how it's sometimes the trend, the moves, because they can be extremely aggressive. I've seen the Asian markets open 1 o'clock in the morning, and it has jumped 200 points or so within the space of literally just a few minutes. and then next minute it's reversed, and you're just thinking to yourself, "Oh my gosh, this is." You've got to treat this with some real respect and be careful, because this will chew you up and it will spit you out massively. And you always got your guard up. And I suppose when you're trading that, sometimes your stop loss is everything, because it will, if that's not in place, then forget it. It's going to teach you a real lesson, and it's going to teach you a painful and expensive lesson.
And from what you've said, it's done that to you.
No, it has. Well, I tell you what, I got burnt quite a while ago in crypto, to be honest with you.
Oh, right. Okay.
With Forex, I've obviously, my stop losses kind of kicked in, and took me out of trades. The one time in particular, as far as losses are concerned, it was a crypto loss, to be honest with you. Going back, a few years ago. And that was a lesson which was a painful one. And it was a case of learning from it. Because you think you get to the point where you start getting cocky, I know everything. And that really taught me a big lesson. A really big, and you need sometimes a decent loss to respect things, because you think to yourself, you know everything. And then all of a sudden, the market will teach you a lesson. And you need that. You need it to teach you a lesson, to have more respect for it.
I mean, it's interesting, again, for people watching this. That sounds a bit crazy. Like what you're saying, you actually need to lose that money. You do. You absolutely need.
No, without a doubt.
Because it will be so painful that you'll never do it again.
Of course, and I'm not going to go into numbers or figures, but it was, it was substantial. And it's not nice, but just like anything, whatever you do in life, if it is, me being in the building, world, if you've done something wrong for a customer, the quicker you put it right, the better. You've got to learn from your mistakes. And this is, I've only been trading for, a short period of time. You've got to learn from that, and you've got to move on. You can't have kind of almost a bit of a grudge, because, tomorrow's a different day. And you do need to trade like a bit of a robot, like we keep on talking about, because otherwise you'll have that grudge inside you, and it chews you up inside, and you've kind of got to switch off and forget about it, and it's hard. It is hard.
It's the discipline side of it, which is, like sort of 3 strikes and you're out. It's like, I find like my ego gets tied up on a particular asset and trade, and I can't leave it alone. And then I need revenge,
Exactly.
and then, but not so much now. Now I'll be like, okay, it's not today. It's not for today. Just leave it. But you're so right. That discipline for me, what I found, Tim, was that this sounds a bit crazy, but all of my personality shows through in my trading. And trading has taught me more about myself than anything else, because I do things and I think, that's because that's a weakness. You got to fix that weakness, sort of thing.
Of course.
So it's a really, like, it's a self-development journey as well. You know what I mean?
Without a doubt, it shows you who you are as an individual.
For sure.
It's such a powerful thing, trading, and you've got to just so kind of respect it. But I just wouldn't change it for the world, though.
I know.
If I stopped trading today, I don't know what I would do with myself, as in to find something else that I've got so much of a passion for. I struggle sometimes. I'm not the kind of person that'll just sit down and watch TV. I get bored quite easily, to be honest with you. I don't have many hobbies. A lot of the guys will either go, weekends, watch football. I don't have that. And for me, and as sad as it sounds, I just enjoy listening to the news at the moment and trading and seeing what opportunities are out there.
I know.
But I suppose that's what makes us all different.
Absolutely, Tim. Absolutely. It's a great game. It's a great journey for all of us, I think. So I asked you about your most memorable and painful experience, and you said it was trading without a stop loss. Can you give us some insight as far as you can in terms of what was your greatest trading experience. what was it? What was that? Was it that day? You know, it might be points, but was it a day? Was it an event? Was it a particular trade that you'd looked at for a long time and it just exploded?
Yeah, going back ready to the 225 again, getting to grips with it, because once you started watching it and trading it for a while and understanding it and seeing how it behaves and how aggressive the moves can be, you do realize, okay, you can either make a lot of money or you could either lose a lot of money.
Yeah.
And when you do hit the trade correctly and your entry is perfect almost, then you can walk away. I have had a couple of occasions where, you know, it's been over 1,000 points in a day, and that that really is,
that's unbelievable.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That's I mean, sometimes obviously we're trading, you know, the loony or whatever it is, and you're trying to make this kind of 20 points or whatever. With the 225. Well, those 1,000 points, you know, you don't need that'll do you for the month or
that'll do you for 2 months.
Exactly.
No,
exactly.
It's amazing. It's I mean, for me, my best ever experience was actually when I think you were up as well, actually, Tim. But I traded the Trump election night.
Yep.
And I needed something that was a proxy for the Trump win. And it was obvious it was going to happen from so far back. And so in the end, I traded the crypto 10 index. You know that one, and it went crazy. And that was just the greatest. It was the greatest night ever. That was similar. Similar sort of numbers. I think it was more actually, but it was just unbelievable. And but again, it was so satisfying. Like, I've stayed up, I've traded through the night, done the job, I've made some nice money. I got it right. You know what I mean?
Of course.
It's just awesome.
You did your homework at the end of the day, and you deserve to kind of be rewarded.
Yeah, it's like I say, it just sort of rolls off your tongue because of who you are. But people just need to remember what you've said, which is you've got to put the time in. You've got to put the hard yards in.
Without a doubt. You can't expect to think, okay, I'm just going to watch a quick video and, you know, I'm going to start making money tomorrow. You know, if you're going to go into something so blind, then you know, I suppose it's like, you know, running a marathon. Let's just say, you know, if you're not prepared to kind of train for it, then you know, your results are going to be you're going to be at the back, aren't you? Let's be honest. But if you're going to train for it, then, you know, then fair enough, you should be kind of, you know, halfway or even more. You know, so and that's just the way I always look at things, though. Just what you put into something is what you're going to get out of it. It's that simple.
Brilliant. That's brilliant, Tim. So if we come all the way up to date, because Louise trades as well.
That's right.
Yeah, which is amazing. It's like a trading family.
No, that's right. I said to her, and I can't wait to get her involved. I said to Lou the other day, I said, you know, you're going to see the indices start dropping soon. I was just, you know, walking past her, and I said, yeah, indices are going to drop. And it's funny, the conversations that you have.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's like, you're not talking about the shopping.
Exactly.
No,
exactly what you're having for dinner tonight.
So how do you see, so you're 45, right?
Yep.
So obviously, how do you see life from here in terms of your business, your trading life? What do you see from here in the future for Tim?
Oh gosh, I mean, if you had a crystal ball, I love what I do work-wise. Getting a sense of achievement is fantastic when you're renovating a property. I do like that. However, the older you get, the more aches and pains you also get as well in your body.
Tell me.
So to be able to take a step back from the building trade and being able to trade, almost kind of call it, if you wanted to say, kind of semi-retirement, just to take a foot back, you know, is where, you know, it's nice to be at, really. I don't know, as much as I love trading, sometimes you can find a trade very easily, you know, just in your technicals alone. However, I can't I don't know if I'd ever be a full-time trader.
Yeah.
My dad cracked the whip at a young age,
Yeah.
and I've been busy all my life, and just to be able to make money trading, I don't know what I would do with my time.
Yeah.
So having something on the side, the building, even if it's just doing the odd, but
Yeah.
you want to get out of the house as well.
Yeah.
When you're kind of restricting yourself, you're looking at the same four walls.
Yeah.
You want to be and getting out as well.
Yeah, for sure.
It's good for your mental health, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Like you say, what you were talking about earlier, trading can be, very, very lonely.
Yeah.
And it's nice having the community. You always think, oh yeah, I wish I, were to kind of be full-time trader.
Yeah.
But the reality is, would you? I don't. Yes, the money's nice, and you can trade from anywhere. However, the time that you've got to spare is what I personally am not used to. Other people might like that kind of time, but for me at the moment, just knowing what you would
You're
do,
a busy guy.
exactly. So it's one thing at a time. We'll see what happens in the next kind of 2-3 years or so.
No, brilliant. And can I ask you, because you're sort of quite a technical and technology guy. I don't know why I say that, but I've always felt that. So how do you see trading going moving forward? Do you see the technology changing the game at all? Or, with like AI and all of these machines, do you see that changing things as we go forward? Or do you think it'll always be like this?
No, I think AI at the moment is going to take over quite a lot of things, to be honest with you. It already is.
I think it's a lot further ahead than people
think. All day long. And there's going to be a lot of people who are late to the party as well when it comes to AI. A lot of people are already using kind of ChatGPT. As far as trading is concerned with AI, it's something that I haven't really explored myself. I like to do it myself and trade rather than relying on a robot to trade for me. So the technical side of that, I am still new to be honest with you. No doubt a robot can trade, but for the time being, it's something that I'm happy to do it myself. And if I make a mistake, then it's my own fault, and I accept that.
I mean, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if a machine. I got involved with some guys in New York. That was actually the guy who built the machine for Ray Dalio. He'd built this for the trading room, and British lad. And we started to sort of do some experiments, and so they needed me because they needed someone with an account, right? Because they didn't want to risk their money. It was on equities. It wasn't on the stuff that we trade, but it was on equities. But it started off unbelievable. But literally, Tim, you'd look at the chart and you would say, there's no way in a million years a human is going to place that trade. That just doesn't work at all. But the machine wanted to place the trade. So I placed a few of those trades, but in the end, I was just losing money everywhere. But here's the funny thing. So I said to this guy, Mike, his name was, I said, listen, Mike, you built the machine. So can you tell it to do something different? And he said, I haven't got a clue what it's doing.
Of course.
He said, I just told it to recognize patterns, and I have no idea how it's coming up with the trades. And I thought, I just don't like that. It's like everything's out of control now. So it was just really interesting, Tim. So is there anything else as sort of a finish? I'm very conscious of your time, and it's very good of you to be here for this amount of time. Is there anything that you would want to leave other traders with, particularly traders who are not as experienced or as successful as you? Is there anything that you would leave them with as one last thought?
Oh gosh, it's a good question. I suppose if people will be obviously watching this, getting involved in trading, I suppose you need to obviously be careful with trading. But there's so many people on YouTube that you see that are kind of trading who you get involved with. Luckily, Rich was on my doorstep. Don't get me wrong, there's people who might not be so lucky. However, obviously, these days you've got the internet, you can do things on the Zoom. If you want to trade, then I suppose just be cautious with things. Start with a demo account.
Yeah.
I put my hand up and admit I never really started with a demo. I started with live money immediately. And I suppose the only reason why I did that was because just to get the sense of winning and losing.
Yeah.
Because it's all well and good doing a demo account and thinking, okay, yep, I made £100, £200 today. However, that money's not going into your account. It's not real.
Yeah.
You get a different emotion completely when it is a winning trade and when it's a losing trade.
Yeah.
So for me, I wanted to dive into the deep end immediately because it's a case of you're either going to swim or you're going to sink at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And if, I suppose if you are tempted to trade, one, I'd say reach out to Richard because he's fantastic at what he does.
Yeah, for sure.
His technicals, his fundamentals, are amazing. And I suppose just take your time with it because trading is not going away. You can trade tomorrow, next week, next month.
Yeah.
Just do it when it's convenient for you. Don't be in kind of a rush. And that time, you'll know when it's right and when it's not right, really.
Yeah.
So
that's great advice. Thanks for that. It's just interesting you talk about the demo account. I have to tell you because Rich said to me, get on your demo account. So I had a go at it. And so anyway, I called him and I said, this ain't working for me. It's like, why not? I said, it's not real. I said, because it's not real, I'm just being really reckless.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to have I don't have to put a lot of money in because I'm still learning, but I've got to trade with real money. Otherwise it'll mean nothing to me. And he was like, I don't really want you to do that, Mark. I'm like, I'm gonna have to, Rich, otherwise I'm just not gonna go anywhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's exactly the same thing. So it's really interesting. So I think, Tim, listen, I'm going to wrap it up. It was that was brilliant, man.
No, thank you.
That was brilliant.
Thank you very much.
That was a real pleasure to do that,
great
and to get to know a bit more about you.
Yeah, no, like I said, rather than seeing your face on a Zoom constantly,
it's so
nice to see you face to face.
No, it's so nice, and I think I would just say for the people watching, there's a lot of nuggets in what Tim's been saying here. Lots and lots of things that have just rolled very, very sort of smoothly off his lips, but there's some real gems in there for all of us. So I would say to you, just go back through this and just listen to some of the things that Tim said, because he's a very successful trader and a very successful human being. So listen, mate, that was awesome. No, really appreciate it.
Thank you so much
for the time.
Yeah, likewise, Martin. Thank you very much. Thank you.
That was brilliant.